Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today. Drivers, if you're looking for a local, home, everyday driving job, apply with Carter Lumber today. They have positions for Class A and Class B local drivers. They can take experienced drivers, students, and non-CDL drivers. With over 160 locations, chances are they have a position for you. So go to carterlumber.com/talkcdl and apply today. Again, that's carterlumber.com/talkcdl. Thank you. All right, today's shout out going out to Safe Truck Parking. Shout out to those guys. If you're looking for a safe place to park your big rig, call them today at 972-391-5617. Moving on. I wanted to give a shout out also to my BS call of the week. And it really annoys me when I read this article about this community that put a ban on all truck parking. Now, let me read this to you, and I'm going to tell you what ticks me off about this. It says, parked big rigs blocking paving efforts lead to truck parking ban in New Jersey. Okay, that's all well and good. If the truck is blocking and you tow it. Here, listen, here's what it says. It says, tractor trailers parked along two streets in New Jersey during construction efforts prompted a proposed ban on truck parking in this area. It says the proposed parking ban ordinance on Monday, October 28th, in East Brunswick, New Jersey, along West Ferris Street and 6th Street, reported. It says last week, crews went to work paving West Ferris Street between Route 18 southbound and 6th Street from Lowe's Home Improvement parking lot to the beginning of the property line of 33 6th Street and 34th 6th Street. It said city officials say that the paving work was impeded by multiple tractor trailers parked along the street. It says, despised advance warnings, the truckers failed to, remove their trucks for the work to be done. All right. It said crews and cities officials were forced to tow the trucks in order to complete the work. Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Right. And you even said they had advanced warning.
Right. And so I am not sticking up for the truckers that screwed up and didn't remove their trucks. Not at all. I mean, you don't remove it. You had warning. And I've been in New York City, where vehicles are in the way and you have to have a tow truck come and tow it because the dumbass is in a loading zone or somewhere where your truck's supposed to be backing up, and they come and they tow the damn thing. And I don't feel sorry for anybody that's in the way ever. But it says, in this case, it says we got their attention. See, this is the cockiness of East Brunswick, the officials. It says we got their attention because we are paving and we towed them. Some of them got quite sizable tow bills and storage fees. Business Administrator Joseph Chris Coolio said. Okay, Chris. It says, city officials say the construction interference, the blocking of emergency services, and the damage, listen to this, the damage done by leaking hydraulic fluids has prompted a semi-truck parking ban. Okay, see, to me, that's BS. There ain't no hydraulic fluid damage on the road. That's just made up gaga BS to be able to spite truckers and to furtherly punish truckers. That's all that is. So, Chris, while you walk home with your $1,000 penny loafers tonight and you sit there with the remote control and you have your wife making you your dinner and you're enjoying your time. These truckers are out on the road probably late at night delivering the stuff that you're eating while you're sitting back on, Hugh, I showed them, didn't I, Muffy? Didn't I show those truckers, Muffy? You know what? I honestly and truly, they annoy me, Ruth Ann. It annoys the living crap out of me because they didn't have to ban the truck parking just because a couple guys screwed up. Tow them, bill them, fine them even, but don't ban them just because they made a mistake or I don't think that a trucker arrogantly said, look, I'm not going to move my truck while you do the work. I think maybe they were on home time, maybe they were off, maybe they just forgot about it. But don't arrogantly try to punish truckers because they were in your way. You punish them enough. All right, Chris, that's just my BS call of the week. Ruth, what do you think of that?
I agree.
I'm emotional.
We've noticed. No, I agree. If one trucker makes a mistake, don't punish all of them. That one already got, the bill, got the fine. That's good enough. You know what I mean?
I do.
The only thing that I can say, because I'm listening to you and I'm wondering, the vehicle that was leaking fluids, okay, might have been an older tractor. Let that guy get an extra fine. But don't take away everybody's truck parking. If there's 6 other tractors there that had no issues whatsoever, except for, they parked where they shouldn't have. That might be the case there. If it was a fleet that was owned by one person, one company, then deal with that guy. Don't take it away from everyone.
And I agree with you. What about all the truckers that did move their trucks? To me, it just sounds like he had a bug up his ass against truckers, and maybe
he was getting patted in his pocket to get rid of the parking.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. He might have been slipped a few bucks. I mean, I'm not saying and that he definitely that was the case, but who knows? Maybe people complained. Maybe people didn't like trucks. Maybe there was a reefer that ran there a lot, at night people were whining about. But again, like I said, while you're sitting at home tonight in your $1 million house, Mr. City Council, and you're watching CNN or whatever you watch, okay, and smirking and laughing that
drinking your highball.
Yeah, drinking your highball or sipping your tea, whatever, okay, and laughing because you just made truckers have to go find truck parking, and now they probably have to pay for parking. You just hurt the working man. And you know what? I hope that if your position is a voted position, I hope that next time re-election comes, that people are reminded of how you treated the working man on that day. And Ruth Ann, that's all I have to say about that. Moving on. If you're a driver looking for a new trucking job, check out NCI. NCI offers the following: new Kenworth T680s, competitive wages, solo, team, and students welcome, plus a full benefit package for you and your family. Check them out today at 888-311-7076. That's 888-7076. And tell them Talk CDL sent you.
Attention trucking companies and truck drivers. If you need help with cash flow, we've got help on the way. Turn to Tab Bank, the bank that knows trucking. Tab Bank has been in the business of helping truck drivers and trucking companies with their cash flow needs for 25 years. It's just that simple. It's what they do, but they don't stop there. Tab Bank helps grow your business with their invoice, factoring, and banking services. What a plus that is. Before you book your next load, play it safe and contact Tab Bank to get their help with your factoring needs. Tab Bank helps determine the credit worthiness of your customers as well as billing and collection efforts on invoices that you factor with them. Let the experts at Tab Bank get you cash quickly for the loads you deliver. Again, it's what they do. Visit tabbank.com/talkcdl to learn more. That's tabbank.com 1-800-277-TALK-CDL. Tab Bank member FDIC.
All right. A trucker called me earlier this week and was talking to me. And the reason I wanted to tell his quick story is because it's something new. You know, like when you say to yourself, I think I've heard it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy calls.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So he's a trucker. I forget how many years experience he has. And he was telling me that he's not trucking right now.
He's not trucking now.
He's not trucking now because he's on medical leave.
Okay. What happened?
Well, apparently his friend, not his friend, but friend of the family. You know what I mean? You know how like...
Associate.
Well, not even associate. You know how like everybody has friends of the family, like, okay, we know this family and we're really close to them type of...
Yeah, sometimes people call them aunts and uncles and stuff, but they're not blood.
That's actually a great example. So, you know, I've got cousins that are really not my cousins, but we grew up saying we're cousins.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this guy was like, it's really a close... In fact, it's so close that they're not suing. What?
Suing?
Suing? What do you mean suing? Well, apparently one of their pigs tore his arm off.
Ew.
Almost tore the whole arm off.
Oh.
Bit him.
Ow.
I mean, and literally chewed the poor guy's... I can't even imagine getting in the grips of a big pig. He said it was a very large pig.
And
yeah.
What state did this happen in?
I don't.
I got Silence of the Lambs in my mind now.
Are you looking to make fun of the state? No, honestly, and that's what I was thinking too. Silence of the Lamb. When the guy pushed the poor guy without that couldn't move in the wheelchair, and they just dumped him into the hungry pig's trough,
right?
Or pen rather, the pig pen. Pigs are nasty animals.
They are.
And I wouldn't be talking about this unless it was connected to a trucker or the trucking industry. Mm-hmm. But do you remember when I used to haul pigs?
Yeah.
And, I just wanted to throw this story out there before we cut to our commercials.
It goes with that pigs are gross section.
And very gross. In fact, you and I didn't eat any pig meat for 2 years, a minimum after I worked there.
Right, and I love bacon. I'm just going there.
We didn't even eat bacon. I mean, it was like, these animals are just nasty. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, if you're willing to try to eat a trucker's arm while he's still alive, you're a pretty nasty animal. I mean, he said it wasn't...
Sadistic.
Yeah, like most animals, when they bite you, right? Most animals will bite you. Maybe a pit bull will lock onto you, but most animals will bite you unless it's attacking to try to kill you. This animal was basically, it sounded like it was trying to eat his damn arm.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. So when we worked for the pig farmer, I'll never forget this. I went down to New Jersey. Wait, you know what? When you're in Pennsylvania, it's really over to New Jersey. So I went over to New Jersey at a place called Cremo Land. Mm-hmm. It wasn't far from Philly. And we used to pick up, they used to have a tank trailer there. And the tank trailer at Cremo Land was a big dairy, like milk producing place that delivered milk all over, I guess, New Jersey and Pennsylvania in that southern PA area. And they literally would have this trailer sitting there that I guess Cremo Land would dump out their excess milk that wasn't pumped or whatever for the day into this trailer, and they would collect it. Well, it wouldn't run. It wasn't on to where it cooled the milk. The trailer, big tank trailer, would just sit in the sun. It
was one of those bright silver trailers.
Right. So whenever we would take the trailer back, the tank trailer, back to the pig farm, and it would always be about half to 3/4 full. And we would get there with all the sloshing and the what's it called when the liquid just goes forward, the forward motion, whatever. I can't even think of the damn name of it, but it didn't have baffles in the tank. So it was a nasty trip to begin with because it was half loaded with liquid. And you would get to the pig farm, and Henry, the pig farmer, he would say, just go ahead and dump it in the pig pen. I'm serious. Like this would be like, it would just be a regular fenced off area, right? Of probably at the time, I don't know how many hogs. I mean, they had hundreds, maybe 1,000. I don't even know what it was. It was a lot, and it was a big pen. So I would take the hoses and I would just hook it up and run, flop the hose over the fence. Okay. And in the middle of all these hogs, and I would just turn on the PTO valve and start pumping the milk out. Well, it would come out in giant chunks. And I mean big gray. Have you ever seen milk sit for weeks in the sun? Just big, chunky gray. It almost looked like it was yogurt. You know what I mean? It was thick and nasty. And these pigs would start, like, they'd come running over, doing their thing, right? You know how they are, right?
I remember hearing them, yeah.
There's a reason they call them pigs, right? And they'd come running over, and they would bury their face in this stuff. This stuff would start filling up their pig pen, and it would, within minutes, or 10 minutes, they were standing almost up to their bellies in this stuff. It was coming out that fast. But maybe, let's just say they were standing in 6 to 8 inches of nasty, thick, gross milk, and they were just having a good old pig party, right? But what I noticed was they didn't try to get out of the milk area when they wanted to piss or take a leak, right? They would just start going to the bathroom in the food while they were eating it. So like you would see one pig, he would have this stream of urine going into the gross milk right alongside the mouth of his buddy pig, or maybe his wife, or I don't even know what they were to each other. But the pee would almost be going in the pig's mouth while he was drinking the nasty milk. And I know I'm probably grossing people out, but I'm just saying, this trucker called me this week and said, hey, a pig tried to eat my arm off, almost got the whole arm off, and he's right now on medical leave because of it tearing his arm off to, eat it like a damn drumstick. And guess what? It's believable, because after seeing what these animals do, it's almost a wonder why in the Bible that was a unclean animal, okay, back in the Old Testament. These pigs are just one of the nastiest animals. And then, like you said, we love bacon. Well, it took us 2 years after being around the smell of these animals and watching what they did. And just when you were there every day to pick up loads, it was gross. So if you're a trucker that hauls livestock, my hat goes off to you, because you develop one hell of a strong stomach.
I will say, it's 100% true. And you know what it baffled me. Now, I don't know if anybody else knows this when it comes to farms like this. You see, he got paid to remove products like Thomas's English muffin.
Right.
Or Tasty Cake.
Outdated stuff.
Not completely outdated, just about. When they had to take them off the shelf, they might have still had almost a week left. So they had to get that out of their area, because they knew by the time it got onto the shelves and went to go get sold that it would hit that outdated. So they paid him, Tasty Cake paid him,
the farmer,
to remove the product for him to then feed to his pigs for him to resell. So he had one heck of a deal going on between all of the free food for his pigs that he was getting paid to remove.
And can I say one thing? He didn't even take the cakes out of the wrappers. They would just dump this stuff right into the pigs would just eat the plastic and the food and everything.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
And then Breyer's ice cream.
Oh my gosh, you remember that? But he didn't give, I don't know if he gave the pigs, because it wasn't outdated for like 2 years.
No.
It was a test trail.
There were test ones, but they still would probably give them some, but they still took out all. Like, they got the ice cream. Like, they were eating the ice cream. They would be paid to eat the ice cream, basically.
So we're talking about a pig farmer and a pig farm and trucking these pigs, but it's kind of switched over to some of the things we used to pull, for trailers. But yeah, actually, let me just say that it's a great follow up or piggyback story to this pig farm. One time, you and I were dispatched to Breyer's Ice Cream,
right,
in Philadelphia, and they gave us an entire load of, and it was variety. It wasn't just one flavor.
Nope.
So this was an entire load of 24 skids. I think it was 24 skids, 22 or 24 skids of Breyer's ice cream. And the ice cream wasn't going to be, the expiration date wasn't going to run out for at least 2 or 4 years or something like that. Remember that? Because if you go in the grocery store and you look at expiration dates on ice cream, it's way out there. And so when we were picking it up, I said to the guy, at the Breyer's plant, I said, wait a second, this isn't even expired for like 4 years, guys. Why? I said, is it contaminated? Is there something wrong with this ice cream? And the guy, I'll never forget, you remember what he told us? He said, no. He said, we have to run tests on lots. On pallets. So you might have a whole pallet of chocolate, right? And he said, we have to pull out, it was like 1 or 2 gallons of the Breyer's ice cream, and they run tests on that. He said, but when we break the lot, the skid, it's now missing one. We can't technically sell it now to the public because it was considered a test. So this is how the pig farmer ended up, like you said, they're paying him to take this stuff away. Unbelievable.
Right.
And there he was getting a fresh load of, and one skid was cherry vanilla, another one was vanilla, another one was bricker, whatever they call it, butter brickle, another one was butter pecan. It was like, and you and I, when we got back, Henry's like, take what you want. And if you don't, you remember, we took about a dozen, because you're an ice cream freak. We took like one of each damn flavor and couldn't barely find room for it. But that was the advantages to working for a pig farmer. We didn't make a lot of money, but we got a lot of perks.
Yeah.
And ice cream
was one of them.
Like you said, tasty cake. We would go down to Philly and we would pick up the returns, or the stores that were. What's funny is stores, they won't just wait till the expiration date goes. They're taking it out 2-3 days ahead of expiration date, and we're taking stuff back to the yard that isn't even expired yet. And so there we are, getting all the goodies to take home with us. So wow, what an advantage! So this show just basically turned in from my opening line, okay, to an actual interesting topic. When the perks, I should call it the perks and the downfalls to the trucking company you haul for. The perks that we had was unexpired product that we were given. The downfall was hauling pigs and hauling for a pig farmer. It was a nasty, smelly. How many of my clothes were ruined? Because of the farmer.
Well, the car itself, we actually had to have a junk car just to go onto the farm, because when you would go past the mud and it stuck to the bottom and it would burn on the exhaust system, it would make me want to throw up. I mean, it was just nasty. But here's one thing that
I got used to that smell, though.
I didn't get used to it. Yeah. But I will tell you, one of the things that, a lot of things bothered me when, opening my eyes to how people actually were out there in the world. But one thing just ripped me up was when we would have to go over to the food banks and take products from the food banks.
I was just going to bring that up. The food bank deal. What was that one pallet? Or it was like 2 pallets. I'll never forget it. We picked up at the food bank, and we used to get like, what's the orange drink that Rebecca and them like?
Minute Maid, or not
Sunny D.
Yeah,
Sunny D. We would get like free pallets of unexpired skids of Sunny D, but there was like, what was it called? That diet thing that they used to drink, breakfast.
It was like Slim Fast.
It was Slim Fast, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And it was almost 2 full skids of Slim Fast. And I'll never forget, Henry, this was in New Jersey when we picked this up at the food bank. And do you remember? He said, hey, there's a receiver in Industrial Park, and he gave us the address, that's waiting for the Slim Fast skids.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you remember what he said to us? He said, take this over there. And there was a $1,600 check waiting. Now, he got paid to take away Slim Fast, Sunny D. We had a whole trailer load of different things, okay, that we got from Food Bank that he was paid to take away, that I guess they weren't allowed to give out to the public. Food Bank wasn't allowed to give out certain things. That's my guess on that one. And we literally went around the corner, and this was back in like the 90s, okay? And we went around the corner, and the guy took 2 skids off and handed us a $1,600 check to take to the farmer. So the farmer literally picked up a free load, was actually paid to take a load. He was going to take most of it back to get paid on, or to feed his hogs on. And then on top of it, not even a mile away, he picked up a $1,600 check for 2 skids that he wasn't going to do anything with.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy was that?
It was exceptionally crazy. And then there was the place that we went to. Is it ShopRite?
ShopRite. I knew you were going to say that incident.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember? You want to tell that story?
We were going in to get a load of food from this distribution type center.
That was ShopRite in Patterson. Was it Patterson or it was over in that area, not Patterson, but maybe,
all I know is Jersey.
It was in that area. It was actually near Giant Stadium. It was one of those little cities over there. Before you tell the story, but do you remember we were with the pig farmer, so we got to go around back and bypass how many truckers would be sitting there all day waiting to get in this giant place, ShopRite. I know truckers know of ShopRite, the gigantic distribution, but go ahead, tell the story.
So we go in there and we back up and we start getting our load.
And what were we getting?
Lobsters, live lobsters.
Bins.
Yep. In those big cardboard waxed boxes.
And we were getting other things too.
Yes. But we're getting these and we go, why are you getting, there's alive yet? And the guy said, we can't, because we're like, oh, there's so many homeless, there's so many people that could get this. Why can't we just give this to, it's fresh food. And his reaction was, we can't. We can't give it away because if they got sick off of it or choked on it or anything at all, we're liable, even though it was their fault that they choked on the food because they didn't chew it or whatever the case might be.
Right. And just to add to what you were saying, it wasn't just lobsters. There was tasty cakes and other products that were on the ShopRite shelves that were expiring. So we were picking up almost a full trailer load at that point in New Jersey. And his reaction was, yeah, we would love to give this food because to the homeless. You could feed the homeless in the United States of America with the amount of stuff that expires and is thrown out and used for other things rather than feeding people. You could feed the entire homeless population of the United States of America. There should never be a hungry person in this country if they would just take the things that are just about to expire and go, hey, let's like for example, Panera Bread. What do? Every Sunday, I'm told they give
every night.
Well, no, I'm told every Sunday. It's every night. Every night they give out their expired or their bread that they made for the day. Obviously,
the leftover bread that's still fresh.
They give it to the homeless. So why are corporations afraid, like you said about this ShopRite deal? They were saying, yeah, one homeless guy chokes or gets sick on this, then we're going to get sued. So we'd rather give it away to the pig farmer to let them.
We'd rather pay the pig farmer to take it.
Yeah, exactly. And go feed the pigs so we don't get sued. What did we do with those lobsters?
I ate them.
Right. He's like, yeah, you can take them if you want them. We're like, okay, you know what? These are live lobsters. We just popped the tails and the claws off and froze them. Yep. And we had dozens of cold water lobster tails in our freezer because they were given to us at our option at that time.
And then we had steaks, we had meats. I mean, they had tons of food. And they're like, take them. And we're like, okay. We bought a freezer to put all our meats in.
I think maybe I'll title this The Hypocrisy of the Trucking Industry. And it's really not the trucking companies or the truck, anybody actually in the trucking, but the shippers, the hypocrisy of shippers and receivers throwing out things. It's just horrible, and it's shocking and this was just one trailer load every week that we would pick up. Do you remember one of the other places we used to go to? Papetti Eggs.
Yep. There
was a place, I believe, in Patterson called Papetti Eggs. Now, when I say eggs, you're talking probably 1 million eggs a week these people, do. And when they get these eggs that are a cracked egg, they dump them into these little vats. Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
And they literally, instead, we would pick up skids of these big vats of broken eggs. Now these didn't have the shells. They were just egg whites and yolks. You'd be better off keeping them cool and producing them, putting them in the store, or taking them and donating them to churches that are cooking for homeless. But nope, they didn't want to do that, right? They paid the pig farmers to take. That's amazing. You get paid to take away things, and then you get free pig food out of it, and then you sell your pigs for money.
Exactly.
I mean, that guy was just making money all the way around.
Exactly.
And farmers are smart.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
They know that the new. Well, remember we also got from it start with a V. It was the produce. It was the salad guy.
Oh yeah, it was
in Hershey.
Yeah, I remember that. I forget the name of it.
Start with a V.
But that's an absolute amazing remembrance that you just brought up. Something salad V. It wasn't Volusia. It was something, but they were over by Hershey, Pennsylvania, and truckers and brothers and sisters out there that are listening to this podcast, you would not believe. Okay, well, it's actually coming back. It's like Vivetti or something like that. You would not believe what this salad place in Hershey, Pennsylvania would throw away. An entire, I think they were like 36 or 42 foot dump trailers, an end dump. Tell them how full that was with lettuce.
It was up to the top.
It was over the top, because you used to jump up and help me.
Yeah, I did have to tarp it.
we would tarp this load, and you would literally climb
walk on this island.
This is the waste that the trucking industry gets privy to see and be part of. And that lettuce was not brown, a lot of it, but it was almost expiration. And of course, in defense of these stores, they have the FDA and everybody breathing down their neck for getting rid of things that are going to expire. But at the same time, I believe there could be something done about where they're distributing this stuff and helping people, because my gosh, Ruth Ann, that salad, that trailer with that lettuce in it was literally high up. It was over the top of that. And when we would tarp it, we were talking a full trailer load of lettuce getting dumped, for animals to eat?
Yep.
And, dumped for other purposes other than feeding people. It's a shame. And this was just what you and I witnessed every day of every week, one trailer a day we were picking up and bringing it back to this pig farm.
Yeah, we had Thomas's English muffins, tasty cakes, the Papetti eggs, the ShopRite, the salads, the ShopRite, and then we also had, was it Sun? I want to say Sunbelt, but it's not Sunbelt, but the
ones that made Snapple. You're talking about we used to pick up. Yeah, that's true. We used to go down to Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and we would pick up roll-off trailers of these seeds.
Those were the pits, but there was they had the bars too. They had like like a granola bar or some kind of.
Yeah, you're talking about the breakfast bars. What were they? Slim Fast? Were they Slim Fast?
No, it was like not Sunbelt, but it was Sunsweet. Sunsweet.
Yeah, but Sunsweet was the shipper. They were producing the power bars.
Yeah, but I think they also manufactured them, I thought.
They did. I'm just saying, though, that when I don't remember the name of them.
Oh, okay.
They were like, I forget, they were very popular, but and you still can buy them in the store. They have blueberry, strawberry, fig, all those. But what was neat was when we were there to pick up those returns, they had bins. If they weren't perfect, the bar didn't come out of the machine perfect. They filled up giant bins, and it was amazing. We would pick up giant bins of this. That tells you how much they're making on it, because they probably throw tons of this stuff away every week. You know, I wish I could remember the name of that breakfast bar, but it would be absolute waste. And when you're as a truck driver, how many places, Ruth, and Nestle's and Mars and all these manufacturers or producers of different food throwing out and my whole point was, we've seen one trailer a day. Imagine across the United States how much is thrown away, how much waste is going on, and how much could we actually do to help feed America, especially those that are living on the street. Horrible.
I know, right?
Wow. And this has turned into a 25-minute segment, so we have to move on.
Moving on.
Let's go ahead and get the word of the day. We are actually biting time here. We have to catch a plane today. So let's go ahead and get the word of the day and hop on a plane and get out of here.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Quasi.
What'd you say? Quasimodo?
Quasi.
Quasi. Let me tell you, when I read it, I'm looking at it. I even made you look at it and say, how would you pronounce that? Because that's not at all how I thought the word was pronounced.
Right.
Unless you look at the phonetic pronunciation of it, I would have thought it was quasi.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's Quasi.
I would have thought quasi.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like Quasimodo. That's what I was literally thinking was quasi. And I'm looking at it like, But then when I hit the play it to hear the pronunciation, I'm like, that's not what I thought. So here's what the meaning is. Seemingly, apparently, but not really. Being partially or almost. Right? So I'm like, all right, use that in a sentence for me because I'm not getting it. George was a quasi-Floridian. He loved Jimmy Buffett and followed the Buccaneers, but he lived in North Dakota. So...
Wow.
So that's where it's not really apparently or being partially or almost, meaning my father never went to college, but he read so much he spoke like a quasi-academic. So.
Okay. All right. I'm not really going to comment.
All right.
I'm ready to get on a plane.
Peace.
Just wanted to mention that the word of the day is brought to you by Word Genius, not a sponsor of the show, but we've been promoting them for the last million years. Thank you, Word Genius, for making us smarter. Ruth Ann, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.